Hello all and welcome to the channel. Today I am bringing you a run through of Irish Gauge. This is the first game in the Iron Rail series. We have got the designer and the artist at the top in. It's brought to us by these guys as well. Now this one plays 3 to 5 players. Takes about 60 minutes, which I think is accurate, and this is that light / medium complexity game. Now if you're after an overview, check out the video I brought you guys last week. Now in this one we are investors trying to buy shares in these companies at the top, which will be building rail networks across Ireland here. We're trying to attain dividends and hopefully have the most money, the most profit at the end of the game for the win. Now there's only me as usual. I've got a free player setup here. They've all got their starting £20. We've got the bank here. Now typically these are usually revealed, so you kind of put the shares there so you can see the company name, and it's probably ideal to put the colours just above them as well, but I can't quite fit all of it in the camera view. I have a long board for the camera. And you've also got some cubes in here. Now to set up the game, you would have put a cube, a dividend cube, on these spots which are cities, and they begin, it says here, with a special interest cube. So they've randomly selected those out the bag. So a bit of variety on the setup, and the starting locomotive for each company is already indicated on the board. So looking at the board then, the red 3 locations here, where are we, the 3 here, it says are major cities, and if you manage to connect one of the companies, so orange goes, all the way here, connects to there and there, you're going to get a £12 dividend for that company, and each company can achieve that, so it's not just a one-time bonus, and that dividend will be split between whoever has shares in that company. You'll also begin the game with an opening auction round, so the first player is going to bid on yellow. You will bid whatever you want. It has to be 7. You can pass if you want. So let's say the first player goes 7. Next player's like, I'm passing. They can't rejoin the auction. These guys go 8. They go 9. Boom. They pay their 9 and they attain this share. So the large number is the opening bid price. Now, if everyone passed, the first player to pass would actually get the share for free. And the player who wins this auction will be the opening bid on this one. And you work your way through all 5 companies. So the top card should have been auctioned off before you actually properly start the game with the actions. So looking at Ireland then, it kind of really describes well what is going on here. So you've got these easy tiles, you've got difficult ones, kind of representing sort of forests and difficult terrain, and then you have towns which become cities if you put a cube on them. So that's one potential action you can do. It's called playing a special interest dividend. You've got cities which start the game like, well, not that particular one, that's a major city. Here's a city, so you've already randomly took a cube from the bag, and then you've got your major cities which I've described. Now, this is crucial because the 4 main actions are so you do the initial auction, but later on your go, you do 1 of 4 actions. The first action you could choose is to hold an auction, and you can pick any one, and then everyone participates, so it's a nice way to get another share. Now interestingly, the yellows here you can tell have 3 shares, and once this one's purchased, the bold number, you can see the next starting price is 12, and you can see the card underneath that is 17. So there's only 3 shares in yellow, 4 in purple, 2 in orange, 4 in blue, and 3 in red. So be mindful as to how you maybe want to be majority and how you're going to pay out dividends and achieve certain things on the board. The next action you can do besides auctioning is actually placing railway track, and you will abide by this rule here: 3 points available. So if you do have, you can only build a track that you have a share in. So if you do have an orange share, you can build orange, and you maybe are, well, you have to go adjacent to Belfast here, so you're going to go in this one for 1 point. It's empty. You can't have your own company twice in a share in a hex there. Now if someone else came along, blues had worked all the way up here, they can equally go in an opponent's spot, but it's going to cost you can see occupied 1.5, so you've only got 3 points to spend. Now you can see a difficult terrain is going to cost you 2 if it's empty, but only 1 company can go in a difficult spot. It says NA. It doesn't even give you an opportunity to pay for that. And you can see down here, if you want to go in a town, a city, or a major city to put your locomotive, it's going to cost you 1, and equally 1.5 if it's already occupied. So you can see how the game's already started with certain companies in certain spots, and these are limited in terms of the number of trains there. So let's kick off then. I'm not going to go too many rounds. This bit at the bottom helps you figure out the dividends per share, and we'll hopefully give you a good example. I'm going to ignore this today, and this gives you a reference point as to how much you could earn in dividends when you score up what's it called, you draw dividend cubes. So I've kind of sidetracked there. I have talked about auctioning is one action you can do. Placing a railway track is the second action you can do. The next thing you can do is place a special interest. Now, if you can only achieve this if you own the share and you're putting these locomotives out. Say you've got a blue share and you have got all the way up to here. Now, it's not enough just to be adjacent to it. You actually have to be on it. You now have the option to, as you'll go, to do a special interest action. So you can reveal from here, so you can actually look in the bag, which is fine, and pick out the colour you want and place it on here so it turns it from a town into a city as described here. And that's important when you get to the next action, which is calling for dividends. Now, when you do this, you don't look in the bag, you randomly reveal 3 tokens from here, and you pop them on there, and you can see that cities with black influence on there or white are going to pay out dividends, and you'd work your way from yellow, purple. They've actually got a proper name, so I'm just going to go by colours, figuring out whether they've met the criteria, and if they have, you're going to be getting dividends back. And whoever has, say your dividend total rounded up is 15, you're going to then divide that 15 by the number of shares that are out there, and each shareholder will get paid a split of that. So if you're the only shareholder in one of these companies, great, you're getting that dividend payout. So that's the 4 main actions, just to kind of go through there. So let's kick off then, and I'm going to be quite quick. I'm not going to play the best strategy because, well, it's an auction game and there's a lot to how much money people have got and what they're going to bid on. So let's just say the first one's up 7. These guys, they're like, pass. Yeah, I'll go 7, I'll go 8, everyone else is pass. These guys get that for 8. Boom, we're off. So they won that particular share. They get to open bid on this one. They're going to go 6, hoping that you have to have the right, you have to have enough money to be able to bid. They're going to bid it up for the players, make it more expensive. So they're going 6, they're going 7, they're going 8. These guys like, can I push 9? Can I get someone else to do it? Nope, they pass. These guys pass. They get it for 8, I think we said. Okay, so we pay that 8 and they get first dibs then. So they're going to go 8 on this one. These guys go 9. These guys go 10. They really want in the mix. Everyone else passes. They pay 10 and they have an orange share. Their first dibs. And these guys go, right, 6. Kick it straight off. We've got 7. We've got 8. We've got 9. We've got a pass. These guys go 10. Boom, they win it. They've spent 10, and everyone else is keeping an eagle eye on how much people have spent, because they know this guy's got 2, and they're like, okay, can't actually participate. And these guys have got a little bit. So who was it who won that one? It was these guys. So they actually opened the bid. They can't, well, I've not actually been in this situation. We'll have to pass because they can't afford to pay the minimum of 6. So they go 6. These guys go, I can't let you have it for that. I'm going to go 7. They go 8. Boom, they've won it. So that is the opening auction. All right, what we got, 8. Now, interestingly, if you go too hard on the opening auction, and who was it? These guys won. I think it's these guys who actually, no, it's yellows. Whoever has won the yellow share will be going first. But interestingly, let's say the yellows hadn't purchased this one and they conserved some money knowing they'd got the yellow share, and everyone else has kind of spent most of the money. Their first action could be to hold an auction, and they then choose any of them. No one else has managed to get any money, and they get it for cheap. So you have to be strategic over how much money you're going to conserve and who may decide to do that as the first action. And you can see it's the bold number you would be open up the bid on, and you couldn't pass. So these guys couldn't go pass because everyone else would be passing and win it like you could in the open auction. So kicking off, we're not going to do an auction to begin with. We are going to build some rail track, starting with these guys in yellow. Now, the cost. So there's no money to pay. You've got 3 points available. They can build yellow or blue. We are, where are we? We've got yellow down here. And oh, we took that blue one off accidentally. So we're going to go from blue here, and we're going to go, that's 1 empty spot. So that's 1 point of 3. We're going to go 2. We're going to go 3. Done. Next player, really quick, clockwise. These guys are going to, we're going to equally build track. Orange, we're going to go 1. And then we're going to spend 2 because it's in a difficult spot. So we've spent our 3. Job done. Over to the next player. They're probably going to build track as well, and they're in purple. So we are going to go next door, and that is only going to be 1. And maybe we're going to head up here 2 and 3. Okay, they have undertook their action. You don't have to do all 3. You could do a mixture. And if I do make any glaring mistakes, obviously I'm trying to play a free-play game here. I might have accidentally spent, overspent, underspent, whatever. So, okay, they have done... Who was that? That was purples, wasn't it? Back to these guys. So they've got yellow and blue. They're not quite here to do a special interest cube, or it's not really worth doing a dividend because they don't meet the criteria. But I'll give you an example of how that works in a minute. They're just going to place some more shares. Now, this one is going to be 1. Maybe they're going to go up here for 2 and here for 3. They are done. And over to these guys. They are in red and orange. They're going to go 1 for that one. And they're gonna go, where should we go? Head up here. Maybe you could split off there as long as it's connected to this network. We're just going to go here for 2. So they spent their 3. Over to purple, and they're going to try and get up here. Okay, so they're in the purples. They're going to go 1, and they got 2 spent there. Maybe they're going to spend this one and try and get up here. So 3 spent. Okay, over to these guys now. They are in yellows and blues. So they could do an auction, which they haven't really got a lot of money, and they're probably going to get ousted from the competitor. They're not going to do that. They could build more railway. We've kind of demonstrated that, so we're not going to do that. So the 2 main actions which they can now do is a special interest token out of the bag, which they can look at because they now have reached these 2 towns and they could turn them into cities. So let's demonstrate that one. So they're going to go, but they're in the pink game, and they're just going to go for a white. Now, there's an interesting balance between how there's only so many cubes in the bag for each colour. If you start populating the board with all one type of colour, then there's going to be less odds of those colours coming out here. So there's an interesting sway and balance in the game as to that and how you're going to attain doing. So they've took a while, and that was their action done. Over to these guys, they're going to do a dividend just to demonstrate. They're taking a bit of a chance here if white pays out. So what happens now is we have to meet the criteria, and the criteria for using this action, action, which is drawn dividend cubes, and what's it technically called? Call for dividends. You have to have your network, so that they're in orange. It has to be connected to a city, a paying, what they call it, a paying cube to a town. So they've got a paying cube and it's connected to a town. If they weren't connected to that, you couldn't do this action. Or it's a paying cube to a paying cube. So if they had have decided to go, up here, that is, you've met the criteria is what it's called. So you're able to draw for dividends. So what they do now, they've met the criteria. You draw 3 cubes at random. You can't look in the bag. And it doesn't matter the quantity of the cubes. So it's not like 2 white cubes means you do it twice. It just means you are doing a white action or white what's it called? White special cubes are paying out and the black are. So we work our way through, and everyone could potentially gain here. So yellow's starting off. The yellow network has not met the criteria. It doesn't go from a paying city to a town. So we go purples then. So this track, it does meet the criteria. It's got a paying city to a town, and it's equally got a paying city to a paying city. So they're going to actually get some dividends. So we look at the white and black cubes in particular. You can see it reminds you here. So they're going to get $4 for this one. They're going to get $2 for that because it's a town and it's connected up. So that's 6 in total so far. And this one as well came out. So that's another 4. So that is $10 as a dividend to the purple company. Whoever has purple shares will divide that amongst themselves. So at the moment, these guys are the only shareholders. It doesn't matter how many shares they have. They're going to get the $10. So they have profited from another player's action. We go over to oranges. So this is, what they're after. They have drawn the white. Now, if those 3 pinks there, the luck of it, they wouldn't actually get to take advantage of their orange network here. So they have got a paying city to a town. This is going to score 4. That's going to score 2, 6. Look at anyone who has orange shareholders. If these guys had an orange, hypothetically, if that's in camera view there, then it would be split. It would be, what do we say, 6, 3 for them and 3 for these guys. If it was a 7, say it wouldn't pay out 7. Could it pay out 7? It'd always be even, I guess, a 2 and a 4. Anyway, if it ever wasn't even, say there was 3 shares out there and it was 8, you'd round up to 9 automatically and everyone would get 3. So these guys are getting 6 dividend from the supply. Boom. We go over to the blues then. The blues have got a white cube. You ignore the pink here, so you can see they meet a paying city to a town. You don't include, I don't believe you include that paying city there. Yes, that's right, you don't include that one. Now let's say they hadn't made that connection. They have a paying city, don't have it to a town, and they don't have it to another paying city in the connection here. So they do meet the criteria, town to a city. So they are going to get paid 4 for this one. You don't pay out that one because that's not come out in the dividend, and you're going to get 2 for that. So 6 is being paid out to the blue company. They are the only holders of that, so they're getting 6. Finally, to the red up here. Reds have done nothing. They're on a paying city, but it's not connected to a town or another paying city in terms of their connection. You can't use other people's routes. So we have paid out dividends. Now it's interesting, these cubes, as they come out on the board, as they get used on here for this, when the last cube has come out, you play out that person's turn, just that person, you end the game. You will sell your shares in those companies at the large number on it printed. So if you auction this and you pay, say, 10 for this one, you've lost $4, folks. But equally, it could have been a valuable way to get, these dividends throughout the game early on. So you get the 6 value, the 8 value here, add up all your money. Whoever has the most money is the winner. And I'm just going to play a little bit more here. So where were we? It was oranges, wasn't it? They called for a dividend. So let's go. These guys, they're in purple. They're thinking, okay, I am going to go up here for 1 and 2. Maybe they're going to go for a third one and split it off this way. These guys are going to call. They've got some money now. They're going to call for an auction. Whether they've got enough, I don't know. If you'd be watching whatever people have been paid out as well. But they go, ooh, we're going to go. Have they got enough money? Oh, they haven't even got enough money for that one. No, they're not going to do an auction. They've only got $8 and the smallest one on offer is 9. So they are going to kick off with the yellows. So they're going to go, okay, they're in a tricky spot here. They're going to go 1 for that, 2 for that. So they've spent their 3, job done. Over to, is it these guys? We haven't started utilising the reds yet. Let's demonstrate that one. So they can go 1 on here, which is fine. And they can go, oh no, 1.5. It's an occupied location, and they can pay 1.5 for that as well. So they've spent their 3 to do that one. So basically, if blues, the blue company, or whoever's got shares of blue, decides to do a dividend one, these guys now have paying city to paying city if those colours come out, so can benefit from someone else's action. Over to these guys, and they are in purples, which are over here. We're back to these guys already. We're going to go for a special interest, so we're going to take a cube of our choice. They're connected to white and black, so we're going to go for pink just to diversify a little bit. Now, there's a kind of balance here, because if you start using these special interest cubes all the time, let's say, you revealed these three here, white and black are going to pay out. This town's going to pay out, but this is no longer going to pay out because you've turned it from a town, which would have paid 2, into a special interest cube of pink, and there's no pink there. So that's kind of the balance. Or you're going to have loads of little towns to score, but if you do put this pink on, it's increasing your odds, because if a pink came out here rather than a black, you've diversified, and this one won't pay out, but the pink will and the white will. So a little bit of interesting play as to how you populate these. So let's say they've gone for pink. That's there, go done. And let's just do one more move of these guys. So they are maybe, I still haven't got enough money. They're going to call dividends. They want some money. So they're going to reveal 3 at random from here. And this time we've got a black and pink. Remember, it's not 2 blacks. It's just black as a colour and pink. So we work our way from yellow. Yellow has not connected a paying city because there's a black cube there. It doesn't connect up yet. So no. purples then have got a black cube to a pink, so they met 2 paying cities. They also have this town here, so they will pay out, and they're going to get 4, 8. They're not going to score this one because there's no white here, and they're going to get 9, 10 there. 10 for purples. They're the only shareholder in that, so they're going to get all that money. Oranges then, they have got there's no whites out this time, so they are not scoring any dividends. We go to blues. They have got a pink one, and there is no white cube, so that's not going to score. So the pink is a paying city, and it is connected to a town, so they're going to get 4, 5, 6. That one doesn't pay out on this occasion, so that was blues. No one else has got the blues, so that's paid to them. So you can see, having auctioned off early for 2 companies, you know, it's easy when you get one, are you getting, you know, less or more dividends? That's the payoff really, and the price you pay. So where were we? Was that blues we paid out? Over to reds. They have got a pink cube, but it's only connected to another city, but that's a paying cube of a different colour, and if I'm right, that doesn't count, so they're going to get zilt. I hope I'm right on that. So there we go. If not, let me know in the comments. So we have done the dividends, and I'm going to call it there, folks. You literally keep going, doing those 4 actions. You can see how quick and streamlined this is. Remember this £12 dividend for getting to the 3 major cities. Be mindful of when you're on other people's areas to pay the relevant points. Once all those cubes have come out, have a read in the rules about this section. It allegedly, each time you go to a new town or city, you can move it up, and it can quickly calculate what you're going to attain. There we go, folks. Irish Gauge, enjoy.